Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. I'm here to do a video today and I'm starting a new journal. This is going to be kind of a vintage Victorian type journal. This is for Fern, and so this is what I have so far. You know, it looks great with the paper pumpkin all ripped in there and stuff, but this picture will go in there on the cover, and then this will all get covered. This did not want to peel off well, and I liked these flowers, but it had all these shipping labels that wouldn't come off, and you know, all that. So I'll cover it all. I'll try to get a little bit more of that off and then cover it, but this is sort of the beginning of it. So let me know how you like that, Fern. And today what we're going to do is something that I have done in the past, but I know I have a lot of new people, so probably a lot of you haven't seen this. So anyway, all we're going to do is I took an envelope, you know, a billing envelope, and I cut the sides off of it. This one, I'm going to cut that little piece off too because it's not necessary. My cat is over there playing on he likes to sleep on these lights that go up our stairs. They're like on weird boxes. I don't know how to describe it, but anyways, so he's over there rolling around on the light. Luckily the lights don't get hot. They stay cool because he's always on them with all his fur. Alright, so I'm just going to take pieces of this fabric and we're going to just glue it a little bit on the envelope, and then I will stitch over the top of it. So a lot of you, like I said, have probably seen this, but it's new to some people. And I like the torn edge look on that, so I'm going to kind of snip this one too and tear this part off, hopefully, if it'll tear. Some fabrics tear easier than others, and this doesn't want to tear this direction. I don't know, something about the weave and all that, I don't really know. I'm not an expert on that at all. And then I basically collage it much the same way I collage anything with paper or whatever. And really there's some little polka dots on here, so I'm trying to see which side they're on. I guess there aren't on this side, but the glue is just there to hold it down while I'm collaging, and then I'll go and stitch it because you can't really pin it on paper, obviously. And I'm just going to use all different pieces and sizes and whatever. It kind of ends up looking like that crazy quilt look. So I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a nice day. I already ran to the mailbox and got some stuff mailed off. And it's just kind of rainy and icky blah here today. So there's a little glue left, so I'm just putting that there. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to stitch it, so it's kind of just laying stuff down. Use some eyelet lace. And I'm cutting this, and I'll fray it a little bit because it's got the embroidery all the way through it. It's kind of tricky to tear that. I mean, it can be torn, but the one thing about this is you're going to end up with strings and stuff everywhere. But if it's not strings, it's paper, so. And I'm going to overlap a little. I like that, the cut there with the pinking shears. But I don't want to cover the rows. I cut a little too much off because I'm dingling. I'm actually going to scoot it all the way onto that because I have those holes that are in the eyelet. So we'll just cover other parts with other things. And this is going to be a little bit shabby chic-ish, you know, with these fabrics, but it works in really well with that vintage Victorian look, even though they didn't, you know, have the shabby chic look, but It's fine. I'm going to put this one up here. Put a little bit of glue on that fabric just so that it definitely sticks on there. So it's really the same principle as you're using when you're collaging with paper, just fabric instead. I love these little tiny roses like that. Just so cute. That one tears good. I don't need quite that much. Yeah, I have another video where I did this. I don't remember what it was called. It's been a while. Probably pretty close to a year ago, so I don't know how hard it would be to go find that, but I did the same sort of thing. I'm going to cut this here. Put this one down here. And it's okay if it hangs over the edges a little bit, that's not a big deal. That is the awesome part. I've had a lot of people say that they're loving junk journaling because it doesn't have to be so perfect, like, you know, when you're scrapbooking or all that, everything always had to be perfect. At least that's the way I felt when I was doing it. And so it's been fun to hear other people say that too, that this is fun because it doesn't have to be so precise all the time. It can just be however you like it. I think kind of the point of it is that it's not perfect, you know, and a lot of it's old and torn and whatever. The good part about this envelope, there's not a lot on it, so even where the white is, it's not like that bad. There's another piece of this up high. And so I just keep going along like this and adding whatever I feel like. And I'm going to use my 1891 digi as the main digi for this journal. I will probably end up using something else too. I just, that's the main one I'm going to use. Go do some of this gingham. This is a little bit thin fabric, but we'll see how it works. So if you have that one, you could, you know, kind of craft along with me. That'd be fun. There it is. And then Denise gave me this one. Well, like I said, love the little tiny roses. I'm trying to think how I want that. It would go there, but is that It's a lot of little tiny roses, huh? I guess it doesn't matter. They're different colors at least. We're going to come out further and come all the way to the where the little window opening is. Since it will reach that far. That's my clock. Let's do another piece of the blue. Actually, I think I'm going to use this other one. Did I have another? I kind of want to get this big rose right here. That'd be pretty. And I know that's a lot bigger than some of the other pieces, but you're going to see those things. So I think I'm going to cover that with a little piece of paper. And this is just off of a paper that I just cut, so I just don't want that showing through. And I'll probably have to do the same thing with this stamp thing over here. So I'm going to cover that. Yep. If you're using darker fabrics or thicker fabrics, then you won't have that problem, but because I'm not. And you want to leave this envelope opened like this until you're all completely done and ready to stitch it closed, because I'll be stitching all over on this, and so obviously you don't want it closed because you'll stitch it closed. So just make sure you keep that in mind if you're going to do it this way. Let's use a piece of this again. Any of these will fit. That one's too skinny, I can tell. That one's huge. Oh, come on. It just does not want to rip that other direction. Nope. Not gonna do it. There's just itty bitty white polka dots on that, and you almost can't even see them. This way. I'll be putting pieces of lace on here too, so like, you know, if there's little spots that aren't covered, I can cover them with some lace. Put this piece down here. Try not to get the glue on the window there. I'm actually going to scoot it over to cover even a little bit of the window, because like I said, that's not that big of a deal. I want that corner covered more, so. And I'm not going to, when I trim this off, I'm not going to cut directly up against the envelope, because I still want it to fray just a little bit down at the bottom. Get rid of some of this fraying. Okay, let's see, what do we want along the bottom? More of that other lace. I'm not sure if this will tear, but we're going to try. Oh, good, yay. Tore very easily. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. And that I know I'll have to cut because there's too much embroidery right there. Alright, some more tiny roses maybe. One side. Eek, I'm just getting taken over by threads. All right, end up gluing that to that book. I am going to put a little on that plastic because I know this is going to go over that a little bit, so I want to make sure it sticks really well. All right, so now I'm going to put a few little pieces of lace here and there, and then I will stitch it. And this, I'm just going to kind of do that because it'll work well enough to hold it while it's waiting to be stitched. I'm going to use a little piece of this. This is some antique lace I have that I hoard. I'll use a piece right over there. It's just very pretty. Kind of have a weird overlap happening here. And you could do it without, you don't have to go back and put pieces of lace on. I just wanted to. I'm going to actually scoot it over so you can see that rose a little better. Come down here a little bit. And another piece of eyelet because I didn't use that again. It just helps kind of break up some parts. I don't know. Just like it like that. And then let's see. That's already down there. I think that'll be good. So what I'm going to do is go to my sewing machine and I'm just going to, like stitch along here, stitch here, stitch here. I mean, wherever I feel like stitching. It doesn't, you don't have to stitch on every single line or any of that, because it's, you know, it's kind of like the whole crazy quilt thing. But I'll go stitch it and I'll come right back. Okay, hi everybody. I had a technical difficulty with my camera, and I came back and I showed you guys this, and I put this on the inside so that that's what you would see through the window when the card wasn't in there, and I did a journaling card. But my camera just clunked out, and I don't really even know what happened. But anyway, so that's where we're at. I can show you better on the inside, kind of. Let me see all the stitching that's in there, and it's all just kind of, I mean, it's not totally random because I'm kind of going along the lines of the fabric, but it doesn't have to be, you know, perfect. It's not like a quilt that's gonna fall apart or something. So and then I just put that piece of my 1891 digi back there, and I printed it out on what do you call that? Oh my gosh, I just drew a blank. Parchment paper. So it is a little bit yellowed instead of white. Like if you print this doily piece on, you know, pure white paper, it'll come out white, obviously, because it was a white piece of embroidery to begin with. So anyhow, that's where we're at. And so this journal card will fit, you know, like right in here, so you'll be able to see the lady, and then it'll hook onto a page of the journal. So that's what that is. And then let's see, what else could we work on? I was thinking I kind of want something else on here, but I don't know if it'll be too much, but I thought it might be fun to have like a bird or something. I've got other flowers, but I don't think I need another flower necessarily with the rose there. No, that is the way that is. I have this little bird. I don't know what that looks like, if that looks weird. Maybe a different kind of lace. This is some vintage lace, but I don't know if the blue really works. No, I don't want that. I think the bird needs to be inked. That's part of the issue. These are Tracy Fox's Fussy Cut birds. So if you're looking for birds, she's got flowers, birds, butterflies, all sorts of things to fussy cut out. So it's kind of a nice little thing, because then you don't have to go hunting for them like I always end up doing. Right, piece of lace. Yeah, I like that right there. I like that lace under there. Even though it's on lace, it just kind of adds a little something to it. So we'll add that. So I'm sorry that whole part of that video got cut out, and there's really not a whole heck of a lot I can do about that. I don't know why it did that. I was going along and I thought it was doing fine, and all of a sudden it just went clunk and it was gone. That part of the video is gone. So the first part before I went and did the sewing is there, but I'm telling you, sometimes it's just against you. And I just, you know, squeeze that lace a little in some spots to make it ruffle just a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to go stitch around that and stitch that envelope closed, and then I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, hi everybody, I'm back. So I stitched up the sides, you can see here, and this was a little bit long, so I took the bottom off, I added another little decoration down there, and then, oops, it goes this way. So you can see the lady in there when it's hooked to the page. And then we need to cover that with something. So I thought I would use some of this Medieval Mirage, and that's Feminine Finesse is where I get that design of paper. So I'm just going to get this edge off of it so that I can, you know, get the right size. And of course it's not long enough. And I really did not want, I guess we're going to have to go like something like that. So we will just trace kind of around this edge, and I just kind of rounded them to be about the same, because, you know, obviously when we cut that one side off, we lost part of the flap, so it made it, you know, an odd size. But I will probably be, when I stitch it into the journal, sorry, just thinking, I usually cover the flap anyway with like some fabric or something like that, so it's not like it's going to make that big of a difference anyways. Just want a prettier flap under there than just the plain white. Envelope does kind of go up right there a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to use my cutter to cut the straight edge of the flap. Since we've got this kind of wonky piece. So I'm just going to line it up with the two, you know, points, starting point kind of things, as best I can. Hold it down tight because we're not, you know, using our little brace on our cutter. And this flap will just go right on here like that. I'm going to ink it just a little around the edges. And I probably will end up covering the other side of this envelope as well, since it'll be a good journaling spot, kind of like those seed envelopes that we've been doing. I just have to make sure I get under the fabric there as best I can. Ah, don't glue down yet. It's always interesting when you can't put your head in the closer to see. Oh, come on. Probably should have done this before the fabric, so that's one of those note to self things. Put this on before you put the fabric on. Just trying to even it out as best I can there. This side could go down a little bit more. but it's probably not gonna. Okay. I'm gonna put a little glue right here since I pulled that up, just to keep that down. Okay, and then so let's cover this side as well. And we could even, well, that flap's gonna get glued down, so I'm not that worried about that. But this I would like covered. It's got that weird edge that I should have covered before. There's not quite enough of that. You can't write on that. I need something you can write on. This would probably work. I had my printer on a weird setting, so it didn't fill the whole page when I printed these ones out, but they were good for collaging, so it's not a problem. Yeah, so we'll just do that. Okay, get some glue on here. Make sure that's the up and down. That would be my good luck there. I'm gonna have to wipe the glue off of this part right here because the envelope dips. Just keep it apart until it dries. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now there's a nice writing surface, and that part's covered. This will get glued down. You probably will see a little bit of this, but I may do something with that. But it's actually, it'll get covered when I put her in here, or some of it anyway. Okay, that'll work. And that'll get glued to the book. So that's what it'll look like. All right, well, I will let you guys go. Sorry about the, you know, missing that part of it, but I don't know what my camera was doing. So I will chat again with you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.